Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am just Shawnee and today we're going to be watching TikTok scary stories. And you know, it's scary ridiculous how good this shirt is, honey. Go ahead and cop this shirt. The link is in the description. And also the product of the day is in the description. Go ahead and check that out as well. And while you're doing stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and ring that bell so you'll be notified every time I post a video. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. I read them. The ones that YouTube let me read. Because some of them, they just don't let me read for some reason. I'll be like, okay. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the shares. Loving it. We're monetized, homie. Let's get into this thing.
This is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life, and I wasn't even planning on making a video today, but I feel like I need to get out of my system because I have been welling up with tears and having full body chills from being scared. If you know me in real life, that never happens to me, so I feel like I just need to get out of my system. So this is that story. This happened 4 years ago. I was a freshman in college and I was talking to this boy at the time, and he caught me when I was coming home for the weekend from college, and he asked if he could take me stargazing. I say yes. He picks me up. It's maybe 11, 12 o'clock at night. He drives me to the state park specifically because I had never been before. And specific to note about this state park next to my hometown, it isn't, when I say in the middle of nowhere, I legitimately mean in the middle of nowhere. The closest gas station is like multiple miles away. Nobody lives near there. Yeah, you get the gist. So we get there. He originally parks in front of this watchtower. We're walking up the watchtower. Something to note about me. You're gonna learn about two of my fears today. I am afraid of heights. The tower starts shaking from the small amount of wind, and I immediately am like, hey, I don't like this. We're about halfway up. I don't like this. Let's go down. So he's like, okay, I actually thought you might be scared, so I have an alternate way for us to go look at the stars, but we have to walk through the woods. Usually, and before I get any comments about that, I know, okay? I know. The only reason why I went is because he was like, it's like a minute and a half through the woods. Perfect. A minute and a half. No worries. I shouldn't have listened to him because it was a 10-minute walk, if not more. It is so dark in those effing woods that you cannot even see your hand in front of your face. I'm walking through the woods. I'm doing fine. My other fear is the dark. Okay, I'm a full-grown woman. I am exponentially scared of the dark. Like, unrealistically scared of the dark. We're walking, we hit a fence, and not just any fence, a barbed wire fence. By this time, my eyes are fully adjusted in the dark, and out in the distance, I can see a barn. Right next to the barn, I see a big silo, and if you don't know what a silo is, it's just this big metal structure that holds corn where I'm from. A lot of farmers have them, and I immediately ask him, is this someone's land? He doesn't really answer me, and I'm like, no, seriously, is this someone's land? Because I'm not going to get shot tonight. Because where I'm from, they're not going to ask you on their 5 acres of land what you're doing on their land. They're just going to shoot you because they don't know who you are at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Or I guess what you are. So finally he tells me it's someone's land, and I'm like, I'm not trespassing on someone's land. Like, no thanks. 3 strikes and you're out. I've walked through the woods. I have tried to conquer my fear of heights, and I'm walking in the dark. No. This is no. So finally he's like, okay, fine. Like, we'll go back to the car and I'll drive you home. As we're walking, I don't know what it was. The hair on the back of my neck suddenly stood up. I start to feel like someone is watching me. And all my girlies with anxiety like me, you know what I'm talking about. But this was different. This was different. This was like burning 2 holes in the back of my head because they're staring so hard. And it was so bad that I kept turning around and there was literally no one there. My eyes are fully adjusted at this point. There is no one there that I can see. And I start walking so close to this dude that I'm flat tiring his shoes, which means I'm like stepping on the back of his shoes every couple of steps, and he's getting super mad at me. But eventually I just grab his arm and I say, there is something out here with us. And I made sure to whisper it because at the end of the day, if there is a living human being out there, I don't want them knowing that I feel like something is wrong. And number 2, it was really quiet out there, like deafeningly silent. And he immediately tells me, like, Elena, it's okay, like, your anxiety, it's okay. I understand that you're scared of the dark, but everything's gonna be fine. Like, there's no one else out here. There's no other cars. Everything's gonna be fine. We take probably 3 steps and start to hear rustling. And immediately, this is when my breath literally is taken away. Like, I'm like, I can't breathe. And again, he's like rubbing my back and he's like, it's okay. Like, there is seriously no one else out here. You're gonna be fine. We're walking for maybe a minute. We have our flashlights out. From our right, a rock doesn't tumble out. It is thrown out into the middle of the path that we're walking. I mean, like, right in front of us. Like, someone threw it. This was a game time decision, right? Right. I left him in the woods. I ran so fast, I left him in the woods. I have never ran faster in my entire life. In all my running girlies, I ran for a minute, sprinted for a minute. I get to his car and I'm trying the door handles and I immediately am going through all these scenarios. I'm like, what am I gonna do if if there is a person in the woods? So I'm trying the door handles. I'm going to like literally every door and all of them are locked. And all of a sudden I hear him giggling and like jogging out of the forest. And he was like, that rabbit really scared me. A rabbit? And I probably look disgusting at this point, but I legitimately lost my mind on him. I was like, since when do rabbits pick up rocks and throw them at people? Since when has that ever happened? But anyways, we get in the car, we drive off. The whole time, I'm asking him, what do you think that was? What do you think that was? Do you think that was a real person? Do you think that was a ghost? What was that? And I don't think he took me very seriously at the time because he was like, whatever. Needless to say, I never talked to him ever again. And now I will elaborate on why it's so scary to me. I don't think that was paranormal by any means. Because when you experience something paranormal, it's almost like an instantaneous thought. Right? You're trying to rationalize. You're trying to go through the scenarios in your head on how it is possible that that happened. This was different. I have never felt so fearful in my entire life. And let me ask you this. When you get home late at night, maybe after a night out, or when you get home from work, school, etc., what do you think you're going to see when you turn the light on in your room? Probably some decor, probably your bed, your desk, maybe a pet lives there, I don't know. But you anticipate on what you're going to see because you're prepared for what you're going to see. I'm not comparing bedrooms in the woods, but I was not anticipating someone else to be out there because there's no cars out there. There was no way for someone to get out there if they didn't get there before the sun went down, if you catch my drift. And I think there's something, at the end of the day, there is something so deeply frightening about knowing someone was watching you the whole time. And there is something equally as frightening knowing you never saw them. And then you have to think about a plethora of things. Like, why was that person following 2 teenagers in the woods without making their presence known? How did that person get out into the middle of the woods in the middle of the night? I left a key part of the effing story out. When we got there and we got our little pass, the state trooper or whoever was working there told us that we were the last people going in. So be that as you may, moral of the story, you never know.
Wait, was she trying to say that he set her up? Like that was a setup? That's why he didn't take it seriously because he knew that somebody was already there or something? That's what I gathered from that. That right there was scary alone. Like that, like the paranormal was scary. But the fact that this dude, the thought of he could have set you up to get you got, that's a little bit more scarier. Just a lot more scarier. A lot more scarier because what the crap? Fred, when she took off running, I was like, dude, you need to get your black card, because if we see somebody running, we're not asking questions. We're taking off too. You might have took off before us, but we're gonna catch up and pass you. What right now? Hey, when she left, I was just like, fool, where you gonna go? He got the keys. How you gonna run? If you gonna run, you better keep on running. You better run to civilization. You better run to some lights. You better run like it's nobody. Run, Forrest, run. Like, what? I was just freaking out in my head, but I was just like, okay. There's a plan, maybe? No, there was not a plan, honey. If I ran and I ran to a car that was locked, you best believe I'm climbing that car. Like, we're not just gonna be like, well, I'm here. No, I'm getting higher. So it'd be harder for you to get to me. Like, wow, friend, that was weird. What was his plan? Because I was like, okay, we're giving him kudos, but no, you took me to the middle of nowhere in the country, and to see stargazing, which we could have did like somewhere else. Like, I've taken a girl stargazing, but I was there before. It was on top of a mountain, on a cliff, like at the tippy top of a mountain, and you could just stargaze and then look at the city. It was beautiful, romantic. She was just hype about it, and I was just like, ooh, okay, points, kudos to me. But yeah, friend, we could have did that some other place. Like, the fact that the forest got quiet in the country. But that right there made me think it was paranormal, because it's like you feel somebody, you sense somebody, and it's just like you heard them behind you. So how they get in front of you to throw the rock, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, okay, maybe that's paranormal. It got quiet and then you felt it, but no one was there. Like, that's creepy, friend. I'm glad you made it out of there. I'm glad you left them alone, especially if it was that other scenario. And the past, well, it was a park. You said it was a national park, but what? That still don't make sense, because a national park is 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. National parks usually close when the sun sets. So, was that a real ranger? Could that ranger have been a ghost or something? Bruh, so many questions.
You okay?
I'm a firm believer that if you unexpectedly died, you don't think you're dead. When I had passed away for that short amount of time, I remember crying just like that, trying to go back into my body. And wherever I was at, it stank. So I'm not saying I was in hell. I didn't see no gates of fire, but it was like a long, sandy road. And I never really believed in God, because the stuff that I was going through at the time, but I remember feeling so lost and so like weird. But I remember just crying and crying, because I was like, man, I didn't even get to see my son. Till this day, I don't even have a son. For what reason I said that, I don't know. But I remember telling God, if I gotta stay here, then I gotta stay here. Something punched me in my sternum, pow, right back into my body. And the ambulance was like, yo, he's alive, he's alive, he's alive. But what I'm getting at about this video is that that person might be crying because they don't know that they passed away yet. That's why they said if you pass in your sleep, you passed away the most peaceful way. But when you pass away unexpectedly like that, you will have to come back and live the same life and pick up where you left off till you close.
You okay?
That spirit is literally crying because they don't know that they passed away. I am a firm believer that everything does happen for a reason, and even tragic events like that. Because maybe not on this time, their body. Because don't forget, when you pass away, your soul will just go into another body. That person, that time they were over with somebody else that just got born, or somebody else that just got reborn. It went to their body and they have to live their life now. Y'all probably like, yo, this dude is fucking crazy, but no, it's the fucking truth. You never wondered why you meet people and they feel like, oh my God, they feel like home, or oh my God, I've known you before, or oh man, this, that, and that, because y'all met each other in the past life, meeting each other again in this life. It don't even gotta be like in like a love version. This could be any type of form of relationship or any type of form of bonding with a certain thing. You never caught yourself so fascinated with something you've never seen before, but you know you want it. That's because you lived it before. Let me know if y'all want a part 3.
That's an interesting take on that. We growing up as a Christian, growing up in the church, that was never a thing. Reincarnation was never a thing, never talked about. Like, that's blasphemy, bruh. So that's a different point of view. And it's like, now that I'm like a YouTuber and I like watch YouTube, like before I never. YouTube was for videos. YouTube was to learn about dances. But now I just watch YouTube. That's what I'm watching. That's what's on my TV. I watch a YouTube. So now that I watch YouTube and watch the conspiracy theories, I've been hearing a lot of people's takes about that, like how you the light, when you walk towards the light, is you walking into your new person in the hospital, your new baby foreign person, your new life in the hospital. That light is the hospital light. I've heard so much stuff about it, and it's an interesting take, because it's just like when people are like, well, you ever meet somebody where you feel like you met them before? And I'm just like, now that I think about it, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. Like, I don't. I really feel like this is my first time here. I feel like, because I also seen a video where they were just like, well, birthmarks is how you died or whatever. It lets you know that you was here before. How that's what birthmarks are. I don't have a birthmark. I never had a birthmark. There's no birthmarks on my body. It was never written down or recorded when I was born. My mom said I didn't have any, so that's why I feel like this is my first time here. But also I have deja vu, so maybe that's different, because with deja vu I feel like it was just like there's a parallel. That's why I feel like with deja vu, like in another parallel, another dimension, we're doing the same thing. But also somebody said, well, you have deja vu because you've been here before. Like your mind is remembering that you were here before. So I don't know. What do y'all think? That scene of the cry thing though, that was a little creepy. It's just like, wait, what? But yeah, I did think of it like that. The way he was breaking it down, like, yeah, when you die unexpectedly, you're just lost. Like you wasn't prepared, so you just crying because you died. And then he went on to say, you're crying because now you're being born. Like, it was a lot to unpack with that one. Like, tell me your thoughts. Comment below. Let me know what y'all think about that. All of that.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely.
Okay, so I finally decided to hop on this trend. So my story takes place back when I was like 8 or 9 years old. We had just moved into our new house. Every week, every day, we would pull up to this house, watching it get built from ground up. Ground up. So no one else lived here but us. So we move in, everything's great. This is our first house with like upstairs, downstairs. So we're super excited about that. We just think we moved into a mansion. Like, keep in mind, we came from, like apartments. We had a house, but it was just like one story. So we thought we was the shit. So we're probably living there like a month or so. And me and my sister, we share a room. The way the room is set up, it was right when you walk in, there's my bed, there's a closet, and then there's a little space, and then there's another twin bed. We both had twin beds, and then we had our little dresser in between us. So it was bed, dresser, bed. And the front was another dresser, closet, my bed, space, my sister, window. So one night, I'm sleeping. I wake up at like 3 something in the morning, and I just look over, you just waking up. It's just Case in the room. So I look around, and then there's something laying like on my sister's bed, but I think I'm tripping, so I'm like, nah. Going to come back. Still looking at me. It has these red beady eyes, these ears that just like, I don't know, they just came out like that. And then it was just laying fetal position to her. So where her feet were is where the head was, and where her head was is where the feet was. And it was looking back at me. So in that moment, I just did what my dad told me to do if I ever get scared, which is pray. So I went under the blankets, I started praying, never lifted my head back up, woke up the next morning, whatever. I didn't say shit to nobody. So the next day comes, I don't say nothing to nobody. Another little backstory is So when we first moved in, my dad always had his room door open. His room door was upstairs on the side, but next to the stairs. Always had the room door open. Um, wants to hear everything. We're not allowed to go downstairs after everybody sleeps. So that was his thing, making sure nobody's going downstairs to eat or drink or nothing like that. Probably also to break-ins and whatnot. But so a little bit before I seen that, my dad started closing his room door. We're all thinking, free willy-nilly, we can go downstairs at any point. He's not gonna hear us. We can get our midnight snacks. It's summertime, so we out there eating up everything in the damn kitchen, literally. So that's just remember that part. So the next day comes. Now it's time to wind on down and head into bed. And I started begging my sister, please, Jess, please, can I just sleep in your bed tonight? Please. And she's older, so she's like, no, you're not sleeping in my bed. Like, no, we're not doing that. You're too old. You're not sleeping in my bed at all. So I'm just begging. I'm like, please. I'm not telling her why. I just really, really just, please, can I please sleep in your room? So she finally is like, sure, why not? Like, sleep in here if you want. But I'm sleeping next to the window. So with her sleeping next to the window, that means that I'm sleeping where the thing is that I just seen the night before. So win's a win. I get to sleep in her bed, so I'm not even really like I'm tripping, but I'm not tripping because at least I'm not sleeping alone. You feel? So the night happens, and sleep. Y'all know what happens next. You wake up at 3 in the morning, like we always do. So I wake up at 3 something, and as soon as I open up my eyes, guess what's there? It's laying on my bed. The head is on my pillow. The body is just covering my twin bed. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. It was like, I want to say like a glob of darkness, but it was just like a black, like big thing that just covered up my bed. The beady eyes were just staring at me, and I'm staring at them, and then go under the covers, and I'm like, fuck this shit, pray, go to sleep. So then the next day happens. So, like I said, it's summertime. So when I come downstairs, my parents, everyone's down there eating breakfast. And then as I'm coming down the stairs, 'cause I was the last one to make it down, I hear my dad talking about, he's seen it again. We need to get a priest up in this house. So I chime in. I'm all, hey, Dad, actually, I think I see the same thing that you seen yesterday. He's like, no, there's no way. What did you see? So I tell him what I seen. And my dad's like, you know what? No, you're tripping. You're just trying to say that you've seen the same things I seen because you're tripping. You didn't see shit. There's nothing in this house. This house is brand new. So, of course, you being a kid, you're just like, all right, maybe I'm tripping. So a couple days later, we had a priest in our house. He was blessing every room, left holy water with us. And honestly, I did not see that shit again. But a couple years passed, so around 2018. So think about it. I was in 3rd grade, way back when. Well, that's probably like I'm an adult at this time. So my aunt, she does magic. She's in town. So my dad decides that he wants to bring up the story again. But when he brings it up, we're all inside my grandma's house, and he's like, you know what, Jessica, step outside with us. So I step outside. I'm talking to my aunt, I'm telling my dad, like, because my dad's like, tell her the story, tell her what you've seen. So then I start telling her, I'm like, tell her exactly what I just told y'all. And then my dad looks at me, he was like, Mija, what you seen was real. You weren't tripping out. So yeah, he ends up telling me the reason why he was closing his room door and all that was because that thing would cover up his room door and just be staring at him in the middle of the night. So he started closing his room door. So yeah, that was one of many instances that happened at that house. Yeah.
Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. That was the first time we ever heard about that. And no, we already know it don't even matter if it's a brand new house. It's the land, honey. It's the land. Somebody had commented about the land and how there's so much that has happened in history on this land. So many wars, so much destruction. So much has happened on the land. Like the land is haunted, honey. So y'all land was haunted. Y'all built a new house, but didn't bless that land first. Y'all already know we ain't moving into nowhere new before it gets blessed and anointed and prayed over. So yeah, Fred, I'm mad your dad was just like, oh no, that wasn't what you saw. But I understand he was trying to protect you and didn't want to scare you as a kid. But you was already scared. But you know what to do. Your dad taught you right. Pray, honey, pray. Cause honey, and I'm glad they got a priest. Because a lot of people wait to the last minute. I'm glad that it was just like, I don't know, because I feel like in that situation, the first time the dad saw something, he should have been calling. He should have been calling the first day. But yeah, very glad they got a priest and got everything blessed and cleansed, and y'all didn't see anything ever again. Glad about that. And I'm glad the dad came back and just, reassured you like, hey, no, you did see what you saw. It was real. I'm sorry for lying. I don't know if he apologized, but I'm glad he told you what was up. Because, wow. Yeah, no, bro. You were free. You was brave. You slept on the bed. It was like, oh, okay, you in my spot? Let me go to your bed. But I'm still here looking. Nope. Subscribe.